Hello friends, you're watching India Today Tech, and in this video we're going to unbox the Motorola Moto X4. It's the latest smartphone from Motorola that comes with a dual set of cameras at the back and a 16 megapixel camera at the front. Motorola is also touting its new design that comes with waterproofing. It's IP68 waterproofing, and the phone is priced at rupees 20,999 for the 3GB 32GB variant, and the variant we have with us is the 64GB variant with 4GB of RAM that comes at a price of rupees 22,999, that is 23,000 rupees. So let's quickly unbox the phone. It will be available exclusively via Flipkart, and in this video we'll take a look at the specs and also we'll take a look at the design and the camera quality of the device. So this is the Moto X4, guys. Let's take it out of the box and take a good look at the design. This time around Motorola has used a glass back, and as you can see it's also slightly curved at the corners, not like the previous Moto X4 that had a round back. It's not totally round, it's only curved at the corners, pretty much like the Galaxy S7, I would say. And then at the front it has a 5.2-inch display. There's also the Moto button at the bottom, which acts as a fingerprint scanner and as a multi-purpose button when you can use Moto actions with it. You must know this if you have been using the Moto phone. At the bottom there is a 3.5mm headphone jack, a Type-C port, and the mic is placed at the front beside the key, the fingerprint scanner, and at the secondary mic is also there. The speaker is not placed at the bottom ridge, but it's placed in place of the earpiece, which means technically it's a front firing speaker, but then it's not a dual speaker setup. Before we take a look at the full specs of the smartphone, let's take a look at what you get inside the box, and we'll take a look at the features of the phone as well. So first up, there is a SIM ejector tool. Then there's a guide that tells you about setting up the smartphone, both in English and Hindi. Then there is the safety regulations guide as well that gives you other information about the phone. Then there is a power adapter which has a 2 ampere of power rating. Then there is a Type-C cable, of course, because the phone has a Type-C USB port which also supports fast charging. Next, the phone has a pair of earphones as well. They are in-ear type, as you can see. The earpiece has a single button and a microphone as well. At front, the phone has a 5.2-inch display, but unlike the Moto Z2 Play, it's not an AMOLED panel, it's the IPS panel, but the resolution is same, that is Full HD. Under the hood, the phone has a Snapdragon 630 chipset, and Moto X4 is the first phone to run this chip in India, alongside the 3GB or 4GB of RAM, coupled with 32GB or 64GB of storage, depending on what variant you select. The storage is expandable via micro SD card, and the phone also supports dual SIM card, but then again it's a hybrid SIM slot, as you can see, which means that you will either be able to put 2 SIM cards or expand the storage. Moving on, the phone has a 16 megapixel camera in the front, which has an f2.0 aperture, and it is also accompanied by an LED flash. At the back, the phone has dual cameras, while the main sensor is a 12 megapixel dual pixel sensor which comes with dual autofocus, f2.0 lens, and face detection autofocus as well. And there is a secondary sensor which has a wide angle lens but has 8 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture. The camera also has dual LED flash and supports modes like depth of field and bokeh effect. The phone also has NFC, Bluetooth 5.0 and Wi-Fi. So the Bluetooth 5.0 on the device allows it to be paired to about 4 speakers. So you can connect as much as 4 Bluetooth speakers or Bluetooth earphones with the device, and they will run simultaneously the same music that is playing on the phone. In terms of software, the phone runs the Android 7.1. It doesn't run the Android Oreo as was speculated and as the US variant runs it, but the phone is also upgradable to the Android 8.0 Oreo, which Motorola says will come in early next year. But the main thing is that there's no skin on top of the phone like other phones. It is the stock Android interface that you get on all the Moto phones, and it's present on the Moto X4 as well. Also, the phone has a metal and glass unibody design, as you can see. The frame is fully metal, and there is a Corning Gorilla Glass 5 at front and Corning Gorilla Glass 5 at the back also. The phone is also IP68 water and dust resistant, which means that you can dunk it in water for up to 1.5 meters and it will not go bad for up to 30 minutes. The design of the phone is different from the Moto Z2 Play that has an all metal design. This is Motorola says was done to make the Moto X4 more casual, whereas the Z series is for Moto Mod support. X4 they say is more for a casual user who wants a water resistant design and a more premium looking phone. Of course there are drawbacks to glass back, which means the phone is prone to shattering from the back side, but then again that is the case with most phones that come with a glass back and look premium like this. Let's take a look at the display quality on the device. The phone has fairly good viewing angles and the color reproduction is also quite amazing. You will see that there are bezels on the phone that is quite not a trendy thing of course, but then again the phone comes with a very good display quality. Though outdoors we found that the display is not that promising. You may have to shade it once or twice while you are using it under harsh sunlight because the brightness is not that good. Given that it is not an AMOLED panel, you are bound to lose out on the brightness front, but then again the color reproduction is terrific on the device for the price, and I see no color shifting like you see on the AMOLED panels. There's no blue or yellow tinge and the accuracy is also quite good. The colors come out to be nice and the blacks are quite deep. We'll be comparing it with the Moto Z display also in the other video, but for now we think that the display is not that bright of course, but the colors are much better and the viewing angles are also better in this case. Okay, so the camera on the phone is a 12 megapixel sensor and Motorola has put dual pixel sensor as the main driver. The dual pixel sensors, if you don't know already, have ability to capture good images in low light and also tend to have good autofocus capabilities. This is what we saw in the Galaxy flagship smartphones as well, like the Galaxy S8 and the S7 that run the dual pixel sensor. The dual pixel sensor has advantage of dual autofocus, which means you get much more accurate and faster autofocus response, and we see that that is true with the Moto phone as well. Though there is slight shutter lag, I see the photo is quite crisp and the autofocus was also very fast. Then we also tested the camera in outdoor conditions. The wide angle lens on the phone has 8 megapixel sensor which also captures good amount of details, whereas a 12 megapixel sensor also of course captures great amount of details. The color reproduction is also quite nice. There is a slight distortion in the wide angle photos, but that happens with most wide angle cameras. There is a fish eye kind of distortion that we saw with the LG G6 as well, and the Moto X4 is no different. Talking about the camera app, Motorola has greatly reduced the lag, the shutter lag that we see and while taking the photo, and this is true for the bokeh mode as well. So of course it is a dual camera setup, so Motorola offers bokeh mode on the device, and Motorola says that it is faster than what we saw on the Moto G5s Plus. But let's take a look at how fast the photo appears in the picture gallery. So it is not very fast, the difference is not that much. Then we found that while switching between wide angle and normal modes, there's also a slight lag which wasn't that much on the LG G6, but it is quite significant on the Moto X4. We found that there are some exposure hiccups with the device. You'll see that it overexposes some part of the photo and is not able to uniformly capture the light in the scene, and that happens sometimes indoors as well. The phone is not able to accurately capture the light, but then again this could be due to some software issues that Motorola might fix with a software update, and we see that the camera does have room for improvement. Talking about some other stuff, Motorola has also put in some new features in the Motorola specific software. For example, there is the Moto key that connects with your PC and it allows you to authorize the login on your PC using the fingerprint scanner on the phone. Then there's Moto actions that you must be already knowing about. Then there's a Moto display that brings out notifications on the lock screen and adjusts the color of the display at night. And then there is the Moto voice, which is new on the mid-range phone and allows you to use Google Assistant or Alexa to perform voice command features. So overall, the Moto X4 is a pretty luxurious device, but that is not only on the looks part. The phone also has water resistance and it's built out of metal, which makes it a pretty solid device. Then again, the specifications and the software on the phone is very similar to what we saw on the Moto Z2 Play, and getting them at this price is again a very good deal. We'll be testing the rear camera comprehensively in the coming days, so make sure you subscribe to our channel and get hold of that video as soon as it is up. Also, if you've liked this video, hit the thumbs up button and share this video with your friends as well. Thank you for watching.